Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Doctorate, and today I wanted to talk about putting together a first aid kit for your pet. And so I've been thinking about this video for some time. I actually live kind of in a somewhat rural area, and we've got a lot of sporting dogs that we treat in our practice, hunting dogs, gun dogs, bird dogs, hog dogs, and the like. And so I find myself very often helping clients put together first aid kits for their pets. And so that's what I want to do today with you guys. I did scour the internet for some already available first aid kits, and I did come across this one here. This is a already made first aid kit by Adventure Medical Kits. This is their Adventure Dog Series Medical Trail Dog Kit. The video is not sponsored, but I did find this kit and I asked them if they would send me one to review, and they did. And so we're going to be going through this kit today. I did already kind of take a peek, and pretty much everything that I would recommend is in this kit. There are a few extra little things that honestly they couldn't really include. It's something that you're going to have to include that I will mention as well. The other fun thing about this video is at the end we will be having a giveaway, and you guys will have a chance to win this kit. So let's go through what's in it. Now the first thing is it does come in this really nice compact package, which is nice because you want something that's easy to carry, easy to fit in a backpack, easy to fit in a truck, easy to carry around, and so I do like that. Inside the kit, everything comes in a waterproof container, and so that's really nice, especially if you're going to be taking adventures that may be like a boating adventure. Inside the package is where all the fun stuff is occurring. So let's go through the items that are included in this kit, and I will kind of go over what each item is meant to do, because it may be a little bit different than what you guys are anticipating. Now it does come with the Pet First Aid Handbook and Reference Guide, and I don't know who wrote it. I looked through to see who wrote this guide, and I will tell you, they don't list who wrote this guide, but whoever wrote this guide had to have been a veterinarian, because they were spot on in pretty much every situation that they outlined in here. And so this is really important because you guys aren't going to know as a pet parent what to do in every situation. And this is a pretty exhaustive guide. And so it goes through choking, it gives the normals for temperature, heart rate, gum color, respirations, all that stuff. So the normals are in here. It goes through choking, bleeding, chest injuries, broken bones, eye injuries, poisoning, frostbite, hypothermia, friction burns, burns from the heat. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on, and everything that they recommend in here is pretty spot on. And so that was the first thing I noticed, because I'm always skeptical. First aid can actually go really wrong if you don't know what you're doing. And so this I was really amazed with this, and I really liked it. So that's the first thing that you need to find in your kit, or a really good reason why you should maybe consider purchasing a commercial kit is if it has a really good first aid guide for you in there. The second thing that it does have some sterile dressing pads, so it did come with a couple of these guys. The good thing about these are they are pre-packaged and they're clean. They are for external use only, and they are sterile as long as the package is sealed and not wet. So 2 bandages in here. Also have kind of a little tiny one as well. And those are going to be for placing on wounds, obviously, that we want to keep clean. Along the same line as wounds, we do have a couple antiseptic towelettes as well. So, a wound occurs, we want to make sure that that is clean. We don't want any debris in the wound. We want to make sure that the wound is, as clean as possible before putting any type of bandage or wrap on there. Did also come with a couple alcohol pads. Alcohol pads can be used for a couple different things. They obviously can be used as well for cleansing a wound, but they do burn. Some people will use, in extreme situations, alcohol prep pads to bring the temperatures down in heat stroke. There is some controversy on that, so I would caution you against that, but alcohol prep pads can absolutely be used for lightly cleansing wounds and things like that. So you have a couple of those in there. We do have a couple packages as well of triple antibiotic ointment. Again, just a few things. These are all meant simply as first aid, so to get you through to getting to the nearest veterinarian, the nearest emergency clinic, and it goes over that very, very nicely in this book. How far should you go? How long should you take doing first aid before you reach out and get true medical assistance? So a couple of those are in there as well. Along the lines of cleansing wounds, my favorite thing to cleanse wounds with is honestly betadine or iodine. That is not in this kit. That would be something that you might consider. When using betadine or iodine, it's really important that you dilute that, and maybe that's why they did not include it in the kit, but you do want to dilute any betadine or iodine that you use with water to the color of a light tea color. So here in the South, we drink a lot of tea, so a lot of us are familiar. We're talking about iced tea. We're not talking about like Earl Grey tea. So anytime you use iodine, if you want to include that in your kit, you want to make sure that you dilute that to a light tea color. And you can use that pretty much anywhere. I'm including around the eyes, where some of these other compounds you do have to be careful with using around the eyes because they can be toxic to the eye. So these towelettes are obviously towelettes, so you can be very careful around the eyes. But if you are using a different type of antiseptic, you do have to be careful. But again, betadine or iodine, when properly diluted, can be used, in the face kind of safely. The other thing that they have in this kit is hydrogen peroxide. And as a veterinarian, hydrogen peroxide, we kind of have a love-hate relationship with hydrogen peroxide. A lot of you may be thinking, well, this is in the kit to induce vomiting, right? Wrong. We are not using this hydrogen peroxide to induce vomiting. What you may do, and another thing that I would recommend that you have in the kit is a phone number to Pet Poison Control, the Pet Poison Hotline, and I'll flash those numbers up here for everybody's use that are here in the States. There are a lot of different toxins out there, and some of those toxins are actually corrosive to the stomach, and so inducing vomiting is not always the solution. Sometimes activated charcoal is the solution. Sometimes intralipids are the solution. Sometimes doing nothing is the solution. So we do have sometimes clients will come in and they're like, we induced vomiting because our pet ate XYZ and it wasn't toxic at all. And so if you feel that your pet may have ingested a toxin or a toxic plant, that's another good number I want you guys to be familiar with, the ASPCA toxic plant website. You need to make sure that inducing vomiting is the correct solution. Sometimes if the toxin, even if inducing vomiting is the correct thing to do, sometimes the toxin may be a neurotoxin, and those vomiting reflexes are not properly intact. And so even though vomiting may work, the risk of making a pet vomit that may then have neurological signs where they could actually choke on that vomit or not be able to process the peroxide correctly is not the correct answer. And so this peroxide that is included in this kit is not for inducing vomiting. This peroxide is for cleaning the wounds. Now, there's another thing about peroxide. Again, I said it was a love-hate relationship. There's another thing with peroxide that I think a lot of pet parents don't realize. When using it for wounds, it is a one-time wound use. And so you can use the peroxide to initially cleanse the wound, get the debris out, get it nice and clean, but you don't want to use it again after that, because all that bubbling that you see, that peroxidizing action, is actually destroying and eating cells. So all those bubbles are all the little cells exploding. And so after you originally clean the wound and you get all the bad and the dirty and the yuck out, the new healthy tissue is going to be coming. And we don't want the new baby young tissue, healthy tissue, to be ate up away by peroxide. And so this is not for vomiting, it is not for repeated wound use, it is for an initial first aid, wound cleansing, situation. And so you've got your peroxide in there as well. This here is absolutely a must because you can use it for multiple things. This is your eye wash. So absolutely this is an eye wash. Something is in your pet's eye, there's a stick in there, sand got in there, they're squinting, we need to rinse that out. Corneal ulcers are extremely painful. They can happen very quickly, and so this is great for that, but it can also be used also as a wound flush as well. So I like to have always a bottle of eye wash irrigating solution in there. We have This was really cute. I could have actually used this morning. I found a tick on Tony. You've got some tick tweezers here as well. Let's see if we can get, there they are. Little tweezers. Come in this specimen jar. So we've got that in there. We've got 2 caplets of 25 milligram diphenhydramine, so 2 25 milligrams of Benadryl. The dosing on this, on the back of this package, is for people. So when you look at this package, it's going to be the people dosing. The dosing for animals, if Benadryl is indicated, and again in the first aid book it will tell you whether or not Benadryl is even indicated in this situation. And also, you might be calling the emergency clinic or something like that, saying, hey, I'm on the way. I'm out camping with my pet. I have this first aid kit. What do I need to do? Should I give that? They will advise you whether or not Benadryl is appropriate. But the dose of Benadryl for dogs is a lot different than when people think. The dose of Benadryl for dogs is 1 to 2 milligrams per pound. So it is way higher than the human dose. So that is an important thing to keep in mind when giving Benadryl. Why is that? It's because Benadryl in animals is used for things like anaphylaxis, okay? We are not using Benadryl in our pets for the allergy aspect for it. Allergies in dogs are mediated by a different compound, and I have an allergy video you guys can check out. But this Benadryl is for like an anaphylactic type situation. So your pet got stung by some sort of an insect, you don't know what it is, and you're quite certain that this giant swelling that they have somewhere on their body is from that. You saw them go through a plant, now they have hives all over their body. Something, that type of situation where, your medical professional might advise you to go ahead and give Benadryl. You do have 2 packets of that in here as well. We have a syringe without a needle, so this is just a cap. So it is an irrigating syringe. This is for cleansing a wound. It is not for putting water in your pet's mouth. So that would be another thing that I would advise against. I hear that a lot in the clinic. Oh, my pet hasn't been eating for 2 or 3 days. I've been syringing them water. I love that you guys love your pet that much. I really do. But from a veterinary standpoint and from a medical standpoint, probably would rather you not do that unless we have specifically advised you to do it. Why is that? One, a pet that's severely debilitated or sick is probably either going to fight you to do that, or is not going to have the muscle strength or the swallowing strength, may have some neurologic issues, choking issues, that this could actually be a choking hazard. The other thing is the risk versus reward. You cannot physically get your pet enough water or liquids with this 10 cc syringe to really make a difference. And so, why risk aspiration pneumonia or choking or anything like that? You'd have to give a ton of these to equal what your veterinarian is probably going to be able to do intravenously to actually make a difference. Would rather you guys not use that for that, and this is meant for irrigating wounds. Then we've got this guy right here. This is the Terraflex bandage, and this is meant to be just a light covering of a wound. The reason why I say that is you have to be extremely careful with these latex flexible bandaging. Again, this is for short term, like I am headed immediately now to the vet, not I'm going to wrap this up and I will go to the vet when they open in 2 days. Nothing like that, because this is an elastic bandage and this will actually constrict over time. And so in veterinary medicine, you will find that we very rarely put bandages on animals, especially bandages that are in the lower extremities, or well, all of the extremities are, on our dogs and cats are lower, but at the extremities, because as this tightens over time, and you may not notice it in our pets, maybe too sick or too weak to show us symptoms of this, this bandage will get extremely tight, and I have had to amputate limbs because these bandages were put on for 24-48 hours and they got extremely tight, and the circulation to the lower extremity was compromised to the point where we could not fix it. So these are good to have in your first aid kit, but again, we're using these as first aid. We are not using these as a substitution. So if you need to do a really light bandage, what I suggest is you put it on, and as you're putting it on, you are stretching it to get a lot of the elasticity out. And then as you're putting it on, you are stretching it again on the body and can make sure that you can get like your whole hand underneath it. And you're doing this as you are making plans to get to the facility that will then put a more permanent solution, you know, on your pet. So that's that. The last thing they have in there is this triangular bandage, and I actually never thought of this when I have been telling my clients about first aid kits. What that triangular bandage is actually for is for a muzzle. And so, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. So, right here. Our pets love us. Our pets love us a lot, but sometimes, and this is true with people, how many of my nurses and human friends are out there watching this video? They get cranky when they're in pain. And if they have something like a broken bone or seriously injured and we try to move them, they may instinctually bite us. And so it is nice to have something like this to protect ourselves or to protect the people that are helping us. Maybe it's a two-person job to move this animal, and to have something soft like this that you can makeshift a muzzle by using the instructions in this book is actually a really good idea that I had never thought of myself. So that's what that is what is in the packet. The other things that were not included that I have not mentioned yet that I would include would be your microchip information. They do have a place where you can write inside the little book the information, so you can write it in there. You could just put a copy, you know, of the information in there, your pet's shot records, and your, you know, maybe a phone number to your veterinarian, and then a thermometer. And so thermometers are important. We need to know if our pets are hypothermic. We need to know if they're suffering from heat stroke. And so I believe all those, like I said, are in this reference, like what numbers we should be looking for. But those are rectal temperatures. So I know that that is, not everybody likes that. Not everybody feels comfortable doing that. And the animals don't specifically like it, but it is rectal temperatures that we use in our canine and feline patients. So I do recommend having a thermometer in here, and I do recommend writing on there maybe like pet thermometer or rectal thermometer, so that you don't get confused with your own first aid kit. This company, Adventure Medical Kits, actually does human kits as well. And so you might want to check out their website so that you can kind of be familiar with what they have to offer. But I thought this was a really nice kit, and I want you guys to have a chance to win it. So if you guys want to win the Adventure Medical Kit, you can leave me a comment in the comment section today with what your best adventure is you have ever went on with your pet. And I will at random pick a winner for that in 1 week's time. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video today on assembling a pet emergency first aid kit, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.